AyeQ!
A woman says she survived being kidnapped and held hostage for 5 days, allegedly by a man she met on a dating app.
Tonight, that man is out on bond, and we're learning more about the disturbing allegations against him. Our Marcelino Benito, North Harris County, tonight with details in court documents. Marcelino.
The details in these court documents are difficult to hear. The two had met on Bumble, but it quickly spiraled and turned into a nightmare just before Christmas.
This certainly is not something you see every day.
When Harris County Precinct 4 deputy constables responded to this apartment complex off Kirkendall on December 29th, they found a young woman in desperate need of help.
The victim in this case had severe injuries to her face, to her orbital sockets, her lower extremities, and thankfully we were able to get her to a hospital very, very quickly.
Detectives learned the woman had met 21-year-old Zachary Mills on the dating app Bumble. They'd exchanged a few messages, but had never met face-to-face.
They eventually decided to meet up in person on December 24th.
According to deputies, the nightmare began as soon as she walked inside Mills' apartment. Court documents detailed gruesome allegations. The victim told investigators Mills immediately tried having sex with her. When she denied his advances, the physical assaults began. First with a closed fist, then biting her neck and face. She claimed Mills struck her with a screwdriver handle and alleges multiple sexual assaults.
From that point forward, he did not let her leave, and he was withholding food, water. She was not allowed to leave the apartment for 4 to 5 days.
Investigators say she got away on December 29th when Mills left the apartment to visit his father. On December 30th, Precinct 4 constables arrested Mills at a gas station across from his apartment. He's now charged with aggravated kidnapping. Mills' attorney doesn't buy it.
There are some egregious allegations, but I have not seen anything in the allegations that would make these necessarily credible.
Precinct 4 says its investigation continues. In the meantime, they're urging anyone who uses online dating apps to be more cautious.
Try to meet in a public setting, ideally meet in a group setting, and really do what you can to try to get to know individuals before you find yourself in a one-on-one situation.
Mills was released on a $50,000 bond, but is under house arrest tonight. He's due back in court next month. I'm Marcelino Benito, KHOU 11 News.
All right, so this right here is crazy. So let me get this straight. So you met this man on a dating app and you don't know this man from a can of paint, but on the first date, you felt comfortable to go to his house. Sad, man. Listen, I tell you people all the time, man, keep away from dating apps. Now, the story is a bit fishy. I'm not gonna lie to you. And she was able to escape after he went to visit his father. So you wasn't tied up and you were able to escape after he left the house. So if you weren't tied up, 5 days is a long time. So according to her, she was being tortured. And by the way, I'm not saying that what she accused this man of, she's lying. I'm not saying that. I'm just trying to understand what's going on. So on the first date, why did you feel comfortable to go to this man's house on the first date? Why you thought that was a good idea? You see, the thing about it is this. These dating apps is pretty much hookup central, right? Dudes pretty much are, well, men and women are on there just looking for hookups. Most of the women on there, they pretty much get down on the first night. As soon as they meet the dude, they pretty much busting it wide open. So I'm not quite sure what transpired here. Nevertheless, people keep away from these dating apps. As far as the men on there, most men on these dating apps are pervs. Most men on there don't get any pussy, and that's 95% of the men who are on dating apps. It's pretty much the creeps. That's pretty much their sanctuary, okay? So they go on there and they look for hookups. As far as the women, most women on there are pretty much chicks who are looking for guys to hook up with. You see what I'm saying? So that's what it is. But what's so crazy is the simple fact that she was that comfortable to go over to his house. And she ended up running into a guy that's crazy. But nevertheless, man, this story is pretty crazy right here. People, you know, like I always say, man, the dating apps are like a junkyard. If you want to buy a car, you're not going to go to the junkyard to purchase the car. You will go to a car dealership. The only type of people on these dating apps are people who are, for some reason, they have a problem meeting people in person. Something is wrong with them. Let's just put it that way. Most people on these dating apps, something is wrong with them, whether it's physical or mental. So the best advice I can give you is to keep away from these dating apps. And if you indeed want to dibble and dabble in the dating app game, meet that person in a public place. See what I'm saying? You shouldn't be that comfortable to be going over to another person's house, that a complete stranger. So it tells me that this is something that you probably casually do, right? So that's why I say most people on these apps are simply looking for hookups. These apps is definitely not a good look. The bottom line is stay far away from these apps because you might regret it. That's just the bottom line.